Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. Just a little video to fill in the week. It comes out because of talking to some friends and seeing some other videos, and kind of a few thoughts that threw me back to the beginning of 8th edition. And this is the topic of Primarchs in 40k. So my friends and I, as far back as I can remember, 4th edition, give or take, had often discussed the idea of the Primarchs making a return to the 40k game. And we all sort of thought this would be a good idea at the time. Never expected it to happen, although I always thought that more often than not, we should get the traitor Primarchs. After all, they are still very much active. They're not in stasis, or they're not dead, or they're not run off and hiding somewhere. So, colour me surprised when, about give or take 6 months before 8th edition dropped, in the Warzone Fenris storyline, we get Magnus the Red, and he gets a nice, cool model and a nice, really cool set of rules, and it was awesome. You know, finally, we're getting the traitor Primarchs. Jump forward, I say 6 months from that, and the Gathering Storm brings back Rabute Guilliman. And at last, we actually get a pronunciation on how you say his name. And with Guilliman, you had, come 8th, the introduction of Primaris Marines, which caused all manner of stir. People saying they didn't fit the setting, when actually, yes, they do very, very much. It doesn't breach anything that we've already seen. But there was some talk about should the Imperium get things like Primaris and Primarchs. After all, are we not in the end times? Surely this is the point where the Imperium is failing. This is the point where the Imperium's about to collapse. Bringing back the likes of Guilliman and other loyalist Primarchs, and adding this whole new army of Primaris Marines kind of self-defeats that. And I disagree. The Imperium is still going to fail. It's still going to go tumbling down. It's just, this is that glimmer of hope, that light in the distance, that's ultimately going to amount to nothing. Anyway, Guilliman, great. 6 months on, into 8th edition, we get Mortarion, and it's like, awesome, we're going to start getting these. And I remember one of the little sidebars in one of the Gathering Storm books also talks about a giant serpentine demon prince, and it's like, it's Fulgrim. We're going to get the Emperor's Children guy as well. So, and come Mortarion, a few people were like, we're going to get wobbly table. We're going to get a Primarch every 6 months, because we had 6 months. We had more Magnus, then we had 6 months gap till Guilliman, 6 months jump to Mortarion, and then nothing happened. It's been like 6 years before we get hints of Angron and the Lion. I was quite surprised that, considering in the Warzone Fenris, there is mention, or it's kind of a vision-y sort of thing, of Leman Russ. I thought he would be the next loyalist that we saw as a counter to Guilliman. But hey, I'm not going to complain of getting the Lion. So we get Angron, and we get the Lion. We get this 2-for-1 deal, which is great. And I've noticed a few people online sort of raising this thing again about loyalist Primarchs and how we're supposed to be at the end times here, and it's, this is, it's like, well, Primarchs are not going to save us. Not going to save the Imperium. They're going to give that glimmer of hope, like I said. And I had this point that I raised on a blog at the time, early 8th edition, which I'm going to paraphrase here. I can't remember exactly where I posted it, but to me, and this also included the change in the rule system, 8th edition was, to me, a huge improvement over what we had previously. I really liked 9th. Not overly keen on what I'm seeing so far for 10th, but I'm not going to seriously comment on that until I see the rules. But, so to paraphrase this, my point was this, that with the inclusion of Primaris and Primarchs specifically, it makes a big difference on the game. So with their inclusion, with the way the system works, no longer are we playing games on random asteroids or nameless hive cities or the depths of some unknown thing. Now we've got battles that are going to dictate, that are going to set the course for the future of the Imperium, for the future of the galaxy. We've got battles where we've got demigods and monsters striding across those battlefields like colossi of old, and the future of 40k is epic because of it. Our games are going to be so much better because we've got these legendary figures. We've got equivalents for them. You know, we've got, I say equivalents, Gazgul, the Silent King, and so on. I do think certain armies are missing this and they do need to change that. But ultimately, to me, the inclusion of having the Primarchs in the game and their equivalent big bads across the various armies is a great thing. It makes those games so much more interesting, so much more, as I say, epic. Some people don't like the inclusion of named characters in games. They feel it takes away from it. I disagree. You're not playing 40k to play some little border skirmish out on the Eastern Fringe. You're playing 40k because you want to play the big ass battle. You want to play those defining few minutes that each of our 5-round games covers. And in that, you're going to have the big bads. You're going to have the heroes, the villains, the monsters. And ultimately, for my money, that makes the game so much more better. When I roll up to a table and someone's brought these characters. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that bringing Primarchs back is a good idea or a bad idea? Do you agree with me or not that the inclusion of such characters on the tabletop makes games more interesting and gives you more immersion, I think? I know for me, it certainly does. Pop your comments down below. I'm actually really interested to see what you think. Give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next vid. Until then, take care. Good gaming.